To the rest, hello and welcome. Okay. Now, receiving the award is nice, but it comes with responsibility. Okay. So, I would say this, that responsibility needs to be executed and you need to be exemplary in whatever things that you do. Progress needs to be shown so that people can look at you and say, yes, this is someone I would want to evaluate and follow the path forward. Yeah. I mean, this is how it is. I'm sure my brother here, my younger brother here would agree with me.
This is well.
Thank you, Dr. Razak. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to all the Muslims in attendance, and a very good evening to all other attendees. I would echo what Dr. Razak highlighted. As you mentioned, I got the award last year, and the phone call that was given to me was a surprise. Obviously, I was elated, I was honored and privileged upon receiving the call. But like what Dr. Razak highlighted, after that elation set in, you then thought about what any of this means and what you've actually done to achieve or to get an award like this one. And that's when you start to realize that actually, based on your own efforts, you've done very little, if I'm honest, at least for myself personally. A lot of it's a function of the opportunities that you get, the love, guidance, and support from so many people, and also the many people who have mentored you and given you opportunities, both financially and otherwise, to pursue your professional and educational goals. And I think when one realizes that, as Dr. Razak rightly pointed out, you appreciate that it's not just a privilege and honor, but it is an immense responsibility. Just as much as you have been able to attain certain professional or educational goals as a result of other individuals investing in you, you have to then pay it forward to the next generation. And it's therefore incumbent upon any recipient, including myself, including Dr. Razak, to think about how we can help others and how we can use that platform to offer our shoulder, our guidance, our mentorship, and our support to the next generation for the years ahead and decades to come.
So the Anugerah Jauhari has been presented for 23 years, including this year, and to many outstanding individuals from actually various sectors, from the legal community, business and religious communities, and so on. So in your opinion, how has this affected the progress of the Malay community over the years? Maybe Dr. Razak, you'd like to go first?
If you look at the winners, yeah, those who've been given the award, they are of varied fields. So it does reflect progress in the society, especially in the Malay Muslim. We are small, but yet we can achieve like others. Well, not in a big way, but as they say, sikit-sikit lama-lama jadi bukit. Yeah. So that's how it is. I've seen it. Like today's winner is someone in the field which we don't see Malay Muslim in there. But yet, not only that she's good at what she did, and she's recognized by a world body, and to hit that body is, I would say, she deserved this award, and she's exemplary for our community, and in fact, for that matter, Singapore itself.
Dr. Razak, you've just revealed the gender of our recipient tonight. Like, it's okay, sincere.
I think everybody would have known very shortly.
Okay, Mr. Faizal.
Let me add to what Faizal said just now. It's just part of discussion. I think it's nice. I think what is nice about this Anugerah Jauhari is this. It's a reflection of what we see in Singapore. And both of us are from a family which I would say, when I look back years ago, I got no example in the family that says that one day I'm going to be this doctor, I'm going to be this cardiologist, I'm going to do this strange surgery that I never dreamed about doing, and it keeps me excited until now. You see, every day I go to work and I'm happy. Okay, the day when I was told to stay at home because they suspect I may have COVID, I felt very bad. I almost became feverish. That's real. That was last year. Yeah, no, I did not have COVID-19. Okay, so the thing is, but then the making of this award recipient is interesting in the sense that it is not about himself, it's the whole community which is involved. His family and his community. Yeah? And this is unique about Singapore. We are helping each other to be winner, to be progressive. Yeah? And I think, can I get this elsewhere? I don't think so. And that's the reason why I'm proud to be here, proud to be in this country, and I will do my very best to this country.
Mr. Faizal?
Thank you. I feel very inspired now by Dr. Abdul Razak, and I don't know how to lead that answer. But I suppose to your question of what do we make of the last 23 years and the awardees, I suppose I will say this. When you look at the awardees, there is no one archetypal model. It's not only top professionals, it's not top sporting individuals, it's not top fashion designers, it's all of them. And I think that then comes back to what Dr. Razak pointed out, which I entirely agree with, that it reflects the fact that we are a community of success, and that we are taking baby steps towards being the community of excellence, or the masyarakat pemenang that we aspire to. Now, obviously there will be challenges along the way, but that comes back, I think, to what Dr. Razak pointed out earlier about us being a community, working with each other to see how we can achieve those goals. But one other observation and takeaway I have when I look at all of the winners, and I'm excluding myself in that discussion, but when I look at all of the winners, one thing strikes me. If you were to define, looking at the 23 individuals, what success means when you look at all of them, it would be hard to pin it down. And I think that itself underscores the reality that there is no one definition of success. It's not about whether you're a top professional, it's not about whether you're a top golfer, it's not about whether you're a top CEO. None of it really is about the titles that you hold. It's about the contributions that you make. But I think one thing that I found that underpin all of the winners is a determination to work hard. And the secondary thing, which I think is equally important, is all of them believe in service to others. Now, all of them may manifest it in different forms, but they all genuinely believe in that cause. Much like how Dr. Razak pointed out, the service to others in terms of doing operations, helping people who are sick. So, to me, that's a very good indicator of where the community is headed. There are going to be challenges, but when you look at the kind of talent that we have, as evidenced by some of the awardees, it gives me with a lot of confidence that moving forward, we will meet those challenges head on and well.
So going back to our topic of creating a community of success, what does it take for the community to realize this vision? Is it just sheer hard work, like you mentioned, or does it require mindset shifts in terms of how we define success, as you mentioned earlier? Dr. Razak, I can go first.
I think at the end of the day, hard work is very important. I think it's the most important. And of course, with hard work, you do it in an ethical manner, in a responsible manner. And at the same time, COVID can tell you that you need to create your own opportunity. Yeah, you can't wait for others. So these are few attributes that you need to have within the community, and I hope the awardees have shown that. Because in ourselves, the journey is hard, the journey is long. But one thing for sure, most of us, we have attributes is that we don't give up. Yeah. So this resilience aspect is something which is important, and that I can see in many of the recipient of this award.
Mr. Faizal, your take on this?
Again, I feel like a bit like I'm a tape recorder, but I would echo what Dr. Razak pointed out. I would also add that in terms of mindsets, we shouldn't be limited by what we think we can do or cannot do. And I think one of the big takeaways I've had previously when I was assisting in Indaki Club, there was a speaker, I will not name the speaker, but there was a speaker from the Malay Muslim community who was asked about what does he view, or how does he understand glass ceilings? To what extent should one be defined by what they perceive to be a glass ceiling? And his answer has always stayed with me. And his answer was this: you could either live life thinking there's a glass ceiling, and you will inevitably be bound by it, because you will start acting as if you cannot go far. Or you will decide that I don't care if there's a glass ceiling, they may very well be, or they may be not. It's almost besides the point. But if there is one, I will be sure to make sure that it's broken by me, so that the next generation of Malay Muslims can make sure that they go even further than I do. And I think that has always stayed with me. This idea that you don't define yourself by perceived limitations, this idea that you do it in order to make an example, to inspire others, and hopefully they can go much further than you can. So that's, I think, one point that I might want to add to that.
I like what he just said, and I wish this can be done within every of the Malay Muslim family, or for that matter, the whole family in Singapore. In that, you got to instill for the next generation that in whatever you do, you have to be better than the previous generation. Yes, they put a lot of stress, but I think this is how Singapore going to survive and thrive in the future. Okay, we must remember, in terms of DNA, we are just a small country. We have nothing much, but then we are smart. We get smarter and we know how to live this life better in the future.
Thank you for sharing that perspective. And my last question would be on the role of volunteerism and having been successful to give back to society. And both of you have been very active in this aspect. Dr. Razak, you have been active in grassroots work and also in setting up the Muslim Healthcare Professionals Association. And Mr. Faizal, yourself, you have set up some scholarships for the needy as well as some youth programs. So maybe you both could share how does volunteerism contribute to achieving this vision of a community of success?
I think in a personal capacity, I like this volunteerism and for that matter work in the grassroots because it really gives you a check in your life. As you progress in life, you have a better life, you have access to better things. But the life is not like that. There are many other people who may have not have the same opportunity as you. Going down to the ground to see how they live, how difficult their life is, really, make you a better man. Yeah, that's something that I would encourage people to do. Yeah? You don't live alone. Where you are, that's because someone has made Singapore clean. Someone has made the work like transport, the work like cleaning, for the matter, cleaning the toilet, cleaning the hawker center and everything. It makes it, if it's good and nice and clean, makes your life easier. Yeah, and so that you can do your work itself. So this is something I would say that most people should be encouraged to participate in it. And this part of volunteerism is something deep in my heart, and that's the reason why I volunteer in a lot of organizations. One of the nice things that I did was with NKF, and these are people who require dialysis. Our role is not only to provide dialysis for them, to get funds for dialysis, but create a change in the way they look at disease, and hopefully the future family would prevent this disease and prevent or reduce the number of their family members getting contracted with disease that lead to dialysis, such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and etc.
So I would again echo Dr. Razak, and I would add that for me personally, volunteerism is personal to my heart because to a large extent, many of the opportunities that I've been given are opportunities that others have decided to provide me. So just to give an example, third year law school finances were fairly tight. Out of nowhere, the law school decides we should really broadcast to the law firms that there's this person you may want to champion, you may want to consider to assist to give funding, and I got funding as a result of that. And I think all of that really informs the reality, as I mentioned at the outset, that I didn't do this on my own. And it would be very selfish of me to assume I did this on my own. I did not. And it would be very selfish of me now, having achieved whatever professional success I have, to then say I've done enough and I'll now leave everybody behind. It is my responsibility, and if I learned anything from the entire journey, is that those assistance, those mentorship opportunities, those financial assistance schemes help. And I think the reality of it is we cannot just wait for somebody else to do it. It's always very easy to say that person will do it, I have too little. It's not about how much you have, it's about how much you're willing to give. And that's always the way I've looked at it. And that's why, as you mentioned earlier, I decided to set out a few scholarships. Not because, to be honest, it's a lot of money, but because even if it's a bit of money, it hopefully goes a very long way for those individuals. And that's the purpose of the exercise.
Gentlemen, before we close off this session, would you like to have to say something before we close off?
I think as a community, we should aim high, aim very high. Yeah, I think it's not impossible, especially in the Singapore context, because if you have that dream, I think the whole kampung here will try and help you. Yeah, we already have a world badminton champion now, which is, my God, is unheard of.
I would again share those sentiments. I think we should aim high, and I think we should help out one another. There are always pockets of need, and you should volunteer in something that you're passionate about, but there are always going to be pockets of needs for which a small little thing that you do will have a profound impact in someone else's life. So again, it's not about how much you give, it's about how much you help.
Yeah, thank you for the inspiring words. And I would have loved to continue this conversation, but we don't want to stand in the way of dinner any longer. So with that, I thank you both for spending time with us this evening, and I'd like to hand this mic back to Aisha. Thank you.